Fantastic. I see I've already got two here, so at least we can do a sound check while we wait. Can everybody hear me?
Loud and clear.
That's
Hey,
the
you're
best
perfect.
news. Sometimes I find I turn these on and off with my headphones or what the go is, but it just doesn't want me to participate in spaces.
Oh, it happens. Wonders of Twitter.
Exactly. And I see we've got Cryptonaut here as well. I'll just see if I can get him up on stage, and we'll be nearly ready to roll. So let's kick off with an intro. It's great to have everybody here. I am Joe from Layer 1X Community Manager, and good morning, good evening, good afternoon, good night, depending on where you are in the world. It is fantastic to have this space is running. Very excited to dive into what the future of crypto wallets looks like. I think that's a massive topic at the moment too, knowing what's out there, what's coming up, some of the tech that's being built at the moment too, and how that plays into, I think, what the future is for crypto generally. Like, there are so many things coming up that I think we need real world adoption, and therefore we need things to be really easy and really simple for people to use. And how does that look? And that, I suppose that's why we're here to discuss. Cryptonaut, sound check for you.
Hey, can you hear me?
I sure can. Fantastic. So
Sweet.
let's have a little bit of a dive in. Maybe we do a quick intro. Who would like to kick off an intro for us?
Here, I'll take it from here. So, thanks everybody for coming. This is episode number 29 of XTalks, powered by Layer 1X. So, should be a good one. Thank you for listening in. My name is Cody. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Layer 1X, a Layer 1 blockchain, like I said, and I'll be your host. I'm joined today by Inna on our XTalks handle. She is our resident badass and manager of this amazing AMA series. So send her lots of hearts and love. Also, you guys got to meet Joe, who's one of our community leads here at Layer 1X. And I got to tell you, legend has it that Joe's beard contains the wisdom of the great Gandalf. Also, a few lost Norse runes, and possibly a family of very cozy squirrels. So he's definitely got a beard that is very intimidating. So
we'll be naming them later on the spaces. If anybody would like to throw it out there, I'll be taking names for them.
I love it, my friend. I love it. So I'm definitely happy to have them alongside of us. And so for our listeners that are just tuning in for our return listeners to the XTalks AMA series, welcome back. And to our new listeners, the XTalks AMA is a free platform designed for both new and existing projects across all chains. It's a way for them to share their projects, expertise, and vision of a united Web3. And if I'm your host, you can always guarantee that we go down some pretty good rabbit holes. So I think Joe can attest to that. That's for sure. So before we introduce today's panelists, I just wanted to remind you of our next XTalks AMA, which is happening on the 12th of March at 10 p.m. AWST or 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. This should be a really good one. It's combining digital IDs with dApps. And you may want to tune in for that one because I may have a special co-host with us to help drive the conversation. So this guy may or may not know his stuff around blockchain, if you know what I mean. So cool. I'll shoot it back over to you real quick, Joe, if you want to kind of do some intros, get the crowd going.
Yeah, so I think the best way to rock on from here is if individually everybody would like to just give us a quick rundown of who you are, if you're representing a project, what your project's about. Let's get a quick start there, and that way we've got a bit of a background of everybody, and we can roll on through from there. So who would like to? So two options: I can allocate, or we can just jump in. Who would like to kick off?
I can take a stab at it. I heard something about Norse runes earlier, kind of fitting. My name is Thor, and I am one of the co-founders of Zyvo. Zyvo is a real-world asset credit protocol focused on disrupting predatory high-interest consumer lending by connecting on-chain liquidity with real-world borrowers.
Fantastic. That fits the narrative. We're really rolling with it. So maybe we continue that Norse theme. Is there anybody else here with a Norse name that they want to dive in with? Surely Coco is Norse.
I was just going to say, is Coco Norse? But yeah, that's a good segue for me to come in.
It is in my book.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. I'm Coco. I'm CMO here at Army of Fortune Metaverse. We're a mobile gaming studio building Web3 integrated mobile games. We have one that is live right now that you can download. It's a PvP auto battler with a island building meta game. And we just launched actually the demigod minting feature, which is you play to mint your demigod, which is it's very important to building clans and adding some extra spice into your battle and your troops. And yeah, happy to be here. I think this is a really, really important conversation. So yeah, let's go.
We really are continuing with this theme, whether it's the demigods, whether it's some form of Norse rune. Surely the next one cannot let us down. Who's picking up this ball now? What about Flicker Play? Would you like to introduce yourself? Maybe even, bend the truth a little bit if there's no Norse in there.
Yeah, what's up, guys? This is Nick from Flick Play. Definitely got some Norse background in my heritage somewhere. Totally 100% the truth, not Irish or Welsh. Are Irish or Welsh, do those count? I don't know. I think they do because I'm gonna
Close
bend the
enough.
truth here. But yeah, it's Nick from Flick Play. We're building the future of toys via the future of play via digital toys. We're a Disney Accelerator, Warner Accelerator program company with partners like Bandai Namco. We actually launched Bratz this week as part of a 5-year partnership with MGA. So we've been having a really fun week this week, just getting involved with the community, both the Web3 collector community and the Web2 Bratz fan community, introducing them to ownership, digital ownership, and all that fun stuff. Definitely excited to talk about crypto wallets as we're rolling out interoperability into the sandbox, also use of secondary marketplaces and sending from the custodial wallet in our app, easy to use for Web2 folks, to your own EVM-based wallets, therefore backing up the principles of Web3 folks who care about self-custody. So definitely excited to talk about the balance of onboarding and ownership today. Thanks for having me.
It's an absolute pleasure to be here, and I appreciate you taking the liberty to at least fit the narrative of what we've currently discovered is obviously the rabbit hole subject for this topic. I believe we've got one to go. King Julian, would you like to bend the truth a little bit for your background or project to fit the narrative as well?
My name is Julian. I'm the co-founder of Masma. A really great space to be in. With Masma, we do, I guess, bend the truth about wallets with account abstraction. So we do a lot of unique proprietary things that we would like to go away from traditional UI UX or just the way wallets work right now. So really happy to kind of get perspective on what you guys are working with your wallets. Let's just have a nice spaces. I'm not sure if for most people here it's evening, so.
Fantastic. And yeah, once again, thanks everybody for being here. We appreciate having such an amazing panel of contributors as well. I will pass back to CryptoNaut unless, of course, Ina, you would love to do an intro and let us know about your Norse heritage. I'm sure we'd love to hear it.
Come on, Anna. We want to hear from you.
Hi, guys. Okay, thank you so much. From my perspective, as usual, massive, huge appreciation for all the speakers. I'm so delighted to have you on board. I'm so delighted to have your support and your input. The information we share here is truly valuable, and the aim for this series is to educate, to share, to unite, and to remain together rather than divided. So thank you everyone for stepping in. I know for some it's very late night, so thank you for that. And I know that Cody is just wallet topic for Cody is one of the topics that is so close to his heart. So I'll let him lead this conversation, and I know he will take us down some rabbit holes. So I'm excited for that. Let's kick it off. Thank you.
Hey, and just because we have some guests here doesn't mean that Joe and Anna can't jump in, right, guys? So I think this is definitely a safe space for everybody to kind of give their opinions. I don't feel like there's any right or wrong answer. It's up in the air. The book still needs to be written, right? So before we dive in, I love what Anna said. Great appreciation for everybody being here. If you haven't, please share this out. Retweet it so that we can get more listeners in here to listen to this awesome subject we're going to go on. Likewise, to kind of reward the panelists that have taken time out of their day to join us and to dive into this deep discussion. So please do that. I would love you guys forever if you did that. So with that being said, I think we're ready to dive in. So I'm just going to come straight out and I'm going to ask this question. I'm just going to skip the floor play and just get to it, right? So, do we truly need wallets as we know them? Could this thought or concept be accepted as we evolve into a Web3 space? For an example, if functionality integrated into smart contracts, dApps, or even the fabric of blockchain technology, could this happen? What are your thoughts? Are there pros? Are there cons on this type of vision? Who wants to go first?
I'll jump in. I'm going to start with a slightly bit of a personal take on this. Crypto wallets as we know them, I think we probably can agree that there's still a lot of work to be done. I think just when I say personal, I just recently had a situation where I had been on holiday over Christmas or with some family, and I was setting up a new wallet and I wasn't at home. So being lazy, I didn't really want to write down my seed phrase on a piece of paper or somewhere safer because I was being quick. So I thought, let me be clever. I will put like 11 words down on my phone and then keep the 12th word secretly hidden somewhere so nobody can get my seed phrase. But then I sort of kind of needed that wallet maybe like this week, and I've of course completely forgotten where I'd put in that extra secret word. No matter what I did, I just had no idea. And what seemed like such a genius idea at the time felt like such a stupid, brainless idea. A few days ago, and it just kind of speaks to the fact that it's kind of like the forever problem that we have with passwords, in that you need a unique password, and that already we've spent like decades trying to solve that problem in a way that is not hackable, but it still seems to be a problem. And that's the same thing with seed phrases. And I know for example, account abstraction, ERC 4337, and those sorts of things have come about and for about a couple of years now. But I suppose it's just not being, it hasn't percolated into the sort of everyday experience of Web3 users, let alone sort of the big products. And I think that, I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's a huge barrier to entry for the masses, and really, really looking forward to that moment where we're getting wallets that are kind of seed phraseless.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you on that one. Anyone else have anything they want to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with you with the but the wallets need to be simpler with just an email, and how account abstraction has come into that. I mean, it's funny because I mean, account abstraction has actually only been just a proposal until I think only since March. I think March? I'm not sure. 6, 8 months ago. I'm not 100% sure. So I mean, a lot of that stuff was not implementable. Like for example, Argent was trying to replicate a lot of these, and kind of creating their own proprietary systems to kind of replicate account abstraction. There's a lot of cool solutions now coming, because I mean now you're getting a lot of it for just emails to sign up your account. With Masma, we do something a little bit different. Actually, our infrastructure, we built a proprietary seedless. So actually, not Masma doesn't have the seed phrase. Neither do you have the seed phrase. And then now it's just all up to your email. So as long as you can recover your email, you're good to go, right? And then there's just there's multi-factor authentication to help you on a. I mean, usually most people have a MFA on their Google Gmail or something like that, and then as well you'll have the MFA on the actual mobile phone itself. So you don't need to play around with the C phrase thing anymore, as long as you just have your email. Going back to the do we need a wallet? It's funny because CZ even said something similar to this. Says actually the most limiting factor for crypto adoption and growth is actually the wallet, right? And he said that no wallet today solves this. Not even Binance Wallet, not even Coinbase Wallet. And it's because it's a completely abstracted experience. Although we do need to be conscious of that. Web3 is just very flexible, right? So that's why a wallet is interesting. But then use an example of like in Web2, when you download Fiverr, right? If you download a specific, like for any type of solution that you kind of really have funds onto, do we think of them as wallets? No, right? Like the wallet was the account, which wallets are just accounts, right? Those accounts were integrated into that experience. So you didn't need to know that there's a wallet. You just, I need to go use this solution. I go to this solution, and then the wallet was just part of that. That your account was part of that application. The interesting thing that's different now with Web3 is that obviously your account, your universal account, right, can now go to different entities or different platforms, which is why now it's just completely mind-boggle for the actual user experience for the user. And now we got to like carry around this fragmented wallet to go to do X, Y, and Z. So that I think that then leads into why for example, with Masm, we're building a super app, an everything app, right? It's very important for us to now have a platform that is multi-dimensional. So it's like you can do a lot of different platform things onto one platform, and you don't need to worry about that wallet. The wallet is ingrained into the experience, right? So now you can do whatever you want. You don't need to worry about a wallet. So I think moving forward to a lot of other platforms, right? Just generally, because we're not going to utilize all of blockchain technology, right? A lot of us are not going to utilize every single dApp out there. We're going to be, utilizing what specifically we're interested in right now, or just for example, with Masma, I'm just using Masma as an example. We become more flexible into well, not only can we provide you all of these things within arm's reach, you don't need to worry about your wallet. Is if you need more things, well, we'll just include these other applications, and with account abstraction, seamless experiences are actually very possible now, right? So just searching a URL, going onto another application that maybe the platform has pre-approved, right? You got session keys, you got pre-approved contracts. It just kind of happens automatically for the user. But anyways, I digress.
No, those are all great points. Anybody else want to jump in on that before I give my take?
Yeah, I'm still trying to find the words, right? So bear with me, rabbit hole time, But right now, the importance of self-custody is, hey, we don't really have access to our finances. We don't really have a lot of control over our finances because of institutions, right? And that's why we're putting our money into cryptocurrency. That's why we believe in Bitcoin as a ledger that showcases, you can't inflate it. You can't just print money like how institutions and governments do. You can't really have third parties ruining your own, finances. I know you can, but bear with me, right? Uh, I think that people will give up their security for convenience always, right? So this movement of, let's make finance better, let's make it more open, let's allow your everyday Joe to actually have complete control over their finances. It's kind of far-fetched because most people don't understand how to do their taxes. Most people don't understand how to, have good credit. So how can we expect them to implement this new financial system that we're trying to build, overthrowing the corrupt institutions, when at the end of the day, like, they're not really going to care. And so if we are successful in this overall mission, this ideal mission of like making finance open to the people, all we would do would get passionate people like ourselves and the people in this space. We would just be taking over the institutions and promising to create a system that, hey, if you do want to actually care about it and you do want to have control over it, then you can. But most people aren't going to care about it. Most people are like, honestly, it's too complicated. You just take care of it for me. Like, I'm sure my friends and family would want me to handle their crypto assets or their wallets rather than having to deal with it themselves, rather than having to take like, months or years to understand how it all works. They would just rather a trusted individual do it for them. And so we would kind of just be replacing the head of the hydra rather than, killing the body of it. So then it would be up to us to make sure that we're inputting these principles that we're so passionate about. But at the end of the day, your average Joe won't even know a difference, especially because for us to onboard them, we literally have to make it so that they don't know a difference, or else they're going to be like, that's too hard. I'm just going to stick with what I've got. So, wallets as they are right now, like Julian was saying, like it's such a a wall to entry, right? Like it's such a barrier to entry because people are lazy. People are lazy, selfish, and vain. When it comes down to it, especially with their own personal stuff, like their scrolling, or their private stuff, like their finances. So I would say that in the grand scheme of things, I don't really see it where, every 15-year-old on their computer at home just like starting to like make money or understand the importance of finance will really care about this kind of thing and grow up to care about this kind of thing or put their time into this kind of thing. So unless we make it convenient to have self-custody and security, but that would be the challenge there. I hope that word salad was digestible and made sense.
Oh, it totally did. It totally did. Thanks for sharing your guys' insights and thoughts on it. Geez, what does that say? I need glasses. Zavo? Is that how you? Zyvo?
Zyvo, yes.
Yeah. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think this is actually, there's a parallel here to Web 2 in a way, and I think Flickplay kind of put it pretty well, which is in, Web 2, there's always a trade-off, or in anything in general, there's always a trade-off between security and convenience. And you see this a lot in even Web 2, and when you look at stuff when people are, doing some of these crazy security measures or other things that are really tedious versus just going and, signing up for, Gmail or something, right? And I think you're going to end up in a place where, like the kind of previous speaker said, you're going to have kind of a bifurcation. You're going to have a hardcore group of people who are super gung-ho about self-custody, and they want to continue to, have complete control over their assets. And I think there's going to be a place for that. I think the majority of people, though, do not necessarily care or want to know what is going on. They just want the thing to work, and they want it to work well.
100% agree. On point. Nailed it on the head. Good job. Like, totally agree with you on that one. As Ines said, I'm very passionate about the wallet. I got into crypto about 2017, and having being a UI UX designer for over 2 decades, when I came to the crypto space in 2017, oh my gosh, it was like it was horrible. And it's amazing if you fast forward to today, what, 6 years, 7 years later, it's still the same. Yes, MetaMask, Ravi, Trust Wallet, they're starting to give some new life to it, which is great. But it's amazing that it didn't even change in 7 years. But even then, I still personally think that it's a huge barrier, even though they've kind of given it some new colors, new logos, improved the UI a little bit. Because when it boils down to it, I agree wholeheartedly with you. In the future of Web3, no one will care what chain you're on, where your assets are located. They just want to get it to work, right? And so when I speak on the L1X wallet and the concepts behind it, I use the car analogy, right? People just get into their cars, they put the key in, and they just know that as soon as they turn the ignition, it's going to start, and it's going to get them from point A to point B. On the flip side of that, you have people that actually are car enthusiasts that love to see the details, right? They understand the mechanics of how a car works and things like that. And it's the same way with people with their wallets. But they can't get all the details of everything that they need. They need to go out to an explorer or, look at other things on the blockchain to be able to see the whole transaction and the data behind it. And so for me, when we were designing the L1X wallet, our concept was simple. We wanted to make it so easy that grandma could do it, right? I know King Julian uses that phrase quite a bit, and I wholeheartedly agreed with him on that one. We talked in a space together earlier today, and we both we both said that we're going to come up with the grandma meme coin coming out soon. So be on the lookout for that. But on the flip side of that too, is it's like, if we can make it so easy that a grandma doesn't have to ask their grandson or their granddaughter to help them, from a UI perspective, from a user experience, we've nailed it. However, for me, I think wallets are pointless. I think that they're not smart. Why hasn't somebody developed a smart wallet, right? Everybody's on the talk of AI this, AI that, kind of thing, and as we kind of look at different things, it shouldn't matter if I have half of an ETH on Binance and half of an ETH on Ethereum, and I want to send Joe a full ETH. I don't want to have to go in and make multiple transactions to make it happen. I want to be able to click one time and have my smart wallet or my system that I'm on be able to do intuitively and be smart enough to handle that for me. Likewise, it's all about the intellectual kind of components that we can put into this to make life easier. And as we were kind of looking at doing that from an L1X perspective, it just didn't make sense. I mean, let's be honest, like some of these, Google extension wallets, there's not a lot of capabilities that you can do there. And so, you know, as we moved forward, when I first met Kevin, our founder, and we started talking about the technology of XTalk, my mind just went a million miles an hour, and of all the different things that we could do to build a better user experience. And you know, in the many conversations that I've had with Kevin over the years, it's been fun to kind of just see that we're both on the same page when it comes to where we want to go. And I'm trying my hardest to keep up with Kevin, but it's fun. It is definitely fun to see where it goes. So that kind of leads me into the next question that I want to ask everybody is, when you think about like the wallet experience and the innovation that can happen around it as we evolve into a Web3 experience, what is the one thing that you feel is missing that would make it truly indispensable, a truly indispensable tool of a decentralized future?
I'm happy to go on that one. It's interesting. I think you threw me at the end when you said a truly decentralized future. But one of the sort of functions that I think I think possibly is like a holy grail type feature is I think we still haven't solved for mobiles as well as we could yet. I kind of find myself more and more doing stuff, transactions, or wanting to do things on my phone, but still finding there's just a few too many steps involved and too many friction points. Um, you know, the way that we have Apple Pay or Google Pay in the phone, it's kind of just integrated into the phone. You're not thinking, where's my wallet? What app do I need to use in order to access my wallet? For example, you can't just go on a browser and then you're immediately on a normal browser blocked from accessing certain websites that are Web3 or decentralized, so to speak, because you need to have a connection wallet. So I personally, for example, I don't use the MetaMask app, but I would use, say, Xerion app, and I go into the browser there. Um, and that's also a relatively recent development from that product. And so, but it still like has limitations, right? Because then also there's certain dApps that haven't really thought about people using their product on a mobile. And I just think that's again another big. I think it would just be such a huge change to the whole experience if people can just do things and transact seamlessly, and it could be done on the phone. And I think probably part of the reason why we haven't solved the phone because it's so much. There is kind of a few like barriers, for example, using Apple Tech if you're using an iPhone, because they've got sort of like the whole monopoly on it, right? So you want to pay for anything on your browser, you just do a double click and the Apple Pay pops up. But actually, what we want to get to is a point where actually it's the Apple Pay is somehow replaced by your wallet, and then depending it doesn't matter if you're on a browser, if you're on an app or whatever on your phone. I have a suspicion that maybe like the Saga phone might solve that and might start really kind of, or the Solana phone. But you know, I'm still waiting for that. That's for me the holy grail of at least from a usability perspective.
Yeah, that's a great call out. Thank you. Anybody else have any idea?
I've got something. I think Coco touched on probably the most important thing, which is compatibility with mobile. I would say something else I think that is going to be super, super important, and you can even look at, WorldCoin, for example, is being able to tie your wallet with some sort of unified identity across different chains. And I think that is going to be huge, and I think that is going to become even bigger and bigger, especially as we get into some of the stuff where we're getting to a point where AI or other things are able to generate videos or images at quality applicable to what we see in the real world. And so I think there's a couple of different angles you could take what I just said, but I think being able to have let's say a decentralized identity that you can take with you across different chains and verify who you are when you're interacting with different protocols is going to be huge in order to make the future of Web3 that I would like to see possible.
You and me both, brother. Anybody else?
I was just talking to the head of consensus development, like I think yesterday, and like I mean, I was asking him actually a few of these questions in terms of like why has MetaMask never done like all this new innovation and stuff like that. I mean, they think, and then there's a lot of obviously controversy around the consensus team as well. But a lot of it is that they have 30 million monthly users, and they take a very similar approach to Ethereum, where it's like, well, Ethereum focuses highly on security, not on scalability. And the same thing with MetaMask team actually is that they spent a lot of their time on security, not necessarily on new features or X, Y, and Z, because they're, I guess because they're kind of like I don't, and they're still very unclear about it actually, like why they don't want to experiment. But the one thing about the wallet as well versus like the Chrome browsers is that there the wallet, for example, with MetaMask and the Chrome, two completely different products actually. Even the backends are completely different. So you'll notice that, if, for example, on your MetaMask, you'll instantly be able to sync what type of tokens you have, but then on the browser they don't sync it. So the Chrome extension actually has lots of limitations, and even as well, it's funny because a lot of people might not know that browsers as well have like V2, V3, and I think there's a new some like, right, Google could come up with a new version and then actually obsolete a lot of the browser wallets, and then you might have a hard time getting back into them. So like there's a lot of weird things going on there. But and I completely agree. I mean, the smart wallet is definitely the way to go. EOA wallet. I mean, usually EOA wallet controls the smart contract wallets. But yeah. I mean, like one cool thing we did with Masma, which is really unique actually. So this is a little bit of, I guess, alpha for any developer. Is on smart contract wallet on Masma is actually free, right? So if you go on an Argent wallet, you have to mint the contract wallet, right? Like you actually need to pay money to actually put that contract that wallet on the blockchain. Um, right now with account abstraction, if you think about it, you can actually what we do is you sign up, it's completely free, and the smart contract wallet just gets minted down the road when the user actually does his first transaction, thus basically making the wallet free, because they're going to pay for something, they're going to pay a gas fee anyways, right? So might as well just let them mint the smart contract wallet at the same time. So yeah.
Oh yeah, that's way cool. Way cool. So, one of the things that we've done over at L1X is basically we've built our SDKs to be, I think Coco was the one that was talking about it, being able to have that kind of like Apple Pay experience with a single click type of thing. And we've built it so that our wallet can sit in the back end of things for projects. And so that way you can interact, you can have it going without even really knowing that, you got to interact with a wallet. One of the biggest things I hate with using a Chrome extension wallet is the constant pop-ups that are coming every time I click through some projects, right? And it's got to be one of those things that it can't be annoying like that. It's got to just be frictionless type of thing. So yeah, I agree 100% with all you guys on that one. So since we're kind of at a halfway point, I will basically just say, hey, thanks everybody for tuning in. This is the XTalks episode that you're listening to. I'm your host, Cody. I'm the Chief Experience Officer at Layer 1X. If you have any questions, please throw them in the comments so that we can get them up to our panelists to answer. I know they're dying to hear some of your questions, and they are great. We've had a great discussion so far. So please do that. And let's move on to our next question. The next question that I have is kind of along the lines of what we've been talking about with, smart AI kind of stuff. But I think one of you brought it up, and it was being able to view it on the difference between a Chrome extension versus, the mobile version. One of our visions for how we're doing things with L1X is that as projects come and build on us, we want them to kind of almost be like that Apple experience where you build once kind of thing, and then you can have it show up on the phones, on the tablets, and on the desktop type of thing. We want to take it even further where you could implement it into smart TVs, you could implement it into your smart cars, things like that. With that kind of vision of where the wallet could start integrating into, do you feel like there is more or less adoption that could happen at that point?
Are you saying like once we get across all platforms and devices, having a wallet on there will be the key thing, or
Yeah, being able to
actually
integrate.
getting onto those devices and platforms will be the key to it?
Yeah, both. Basically integrating your wallets into your projects that can go across all different types of platforms. Yes.
Okay. So, for our recent launch of the Bratz digital dolls, we made it so, well, it was with our Baby Shark launch, we made it so you had a custodial wallet on Flowchain. For this Bratz launch, we made it so you have an in-house custodial wallet on Polygon chain. The IP partner for Baby Shark didn't really want it to go outside of the app, so we didn't really make it so you could transfer to your own Flowchain wallet. But with Bratz, we want to get it as many places as possible in the sandbox game and other interoperable experiences, so you can send it to whatever EVM wallet that you would like to. And we have it on iOS, we have it on on our web page, just flickplay.co, and we also have it on Apple Vision Pro. I think that having the custodial wallet makes it so much easier to track all of that just by logging into your FlickPlay account, whether it's Vision Pro, web page, or the app. But as soon as you have your wallet in those different circumstances and different devices, that's when it kind of gets a little bit well, I don't know. Like it's still just it's a little bit less convenient because it's a couple more steps, signing those transactions, making sure that it's you. But it still works across all of those platforms. You still can have it either in the app if you want convenience or in your own wallet if you want self-custody. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's like the fact that you have the wallet in those different devices and platforms, but just the fact that the service itself is available across multiple devices and platforms is what's key. Because at the end of the day, you could have it where it's like not on, it's not on an EVM wallet. You can't transfer it out, but they're still going to use it, or at least 90% of people are still going to use it as long as it's a service that they care about, that is like fun, or if their Web 3D gens makes them money, right? But I would say that the platforms that you get to or the devices that you get to are more important than the wallets getting to those platforms, especially if you have your own custodial wallet already. Yeah, that would be my thought process on it, because it just gets kind of, if you have to import your MetaMask to every single, importing your MetaMask secret phrase or private key on your Vision Pro and your laptop and your phone versus just like logging into your FlickPlay account and then there it is. I think in terms of onboarding, since the Web 2 masters care more about convenience, that's more important, having that just like inside process than getting the wallets out there because it's only the Web3 folks that care about the wallet. I'm curious what Julian's got to say about that.
Well, I mean, I just wanted to ask a quick question on what the panelists, what wallets you guys actually currently use in terms of like where's all your assets being held right now, and why, and then maybe following up to that is like what is a wallet that you've been keeping an eye on and why?
I personally like MetaMask, Phantom for Solana, but I know it's getting more and more chains on it, and then Xverse for Bitcoin and ordinals. MetaMask came first, Phantom came second,
But
then with Hero, Leather, and
where's your
then
funds on?
Xverse.
Are your funds on all of them?
I have various funds, like more my ETH and AVAX and Polygon or MetaMask, my Solana, Phantom, and then my
Yeah.
Bitcoin, Xverse, and Ledger.
Oh, okay. So out of necessity for those wallets.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, it most of those is that, for example, Solana is not really native on the MetaMask, so you have a Phantom for that, and then for the Xverse wallet, that's a Bitcoin native wallet. So you do it out of need. So, for example, that's just kind of the easiest path for you because it's
Yeah,
very convenient.
definitely. And then like I know that Phantom Wallet made it where you can bring your MetaMask in, but then I get a little bit like wary. I'm like,
I
I
know, yeah,
I don't want it to all be in one place because it just takes like one bad link. So
yeah,
sometimes I
yeah,
do find solace in the fact that like it's a little bit
yeah.
spread out.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's a really good question, King Julius, because for my end, just having a like quick look over like the different wallets that I've got, and again, I'm just looking on my phone. Similar to FlickPlay, I've got Phantom. I mentioned Xerion because it's I really like the functionality in there to be able to trade straight from in there and go on the browsers from in there. But then I've got Xverse for Bitcoin. I've got random ones that I've downloaded that I intended to try out, such as Compass Wallet, Vesper for Cardano, Giddy, Kepler, Leap Wallet, and this is another thing is because now that there's so many chains and people, especially if you're like trading and or DJing, you kind of like, okay, this new piece of tech, new layer one, what wallet does it function with? And then okay, how do I get my funds onto that wallet?
Mm,
And and the split of liquidity just gets to a point where I am at risk of forgetting that I have money on some wallet somewhere.
mm-hmm.
Um, and I think that that's also kind of a big sort of hurdle for usability. I guess in the future, in this kind of idealistic future, you want sort of like a unified place. And even if, say, for
I
example,
see.
the private keys are not necessarily there, but just an
Mm-hmm.
aggregator of all the different
Yep, all the
apps and
chains,
wallets that you have, yeah, just to see that
chains
and
and
have it all
wallets.
under one umbrella.
I see. And where do you hold all your funds right now? MetaMask, I'm assuming.
Yeah, I mean, the bulk of the funds would say be on ledgers, plural.
Okay, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, split across ledgers, but yeah, access through MetaMask.
Okay. Anyone else? I'm just want to grab some information here.
I like that. I like that aggregator where it's tracking it all, but maybe not accessing it all, right? You can
Like
bring all
Zapier,
those different keys
Zapper.
and stuff. Yeah.
Especially when
Anyone?
it's like across like so I bring up Xerion again. Xerion is great, but it can only track EVM wallets. And then if I want a Bitcoin wallet, well then that's a whole other thing. Or Solana wallet,
Mm-hmm.
that's a whole other thing. And so you're never really looking at a full picture when you're looking at wallets and portfolios.
What about you, Zivo?
So I personally use a combination, like everyone, kind of out of necessity, but also I think there's merit from a security standpoint. So MetaMask. I've also got Phantom. I've also got the Polkadot wallet. What else do I have on here? let me see.
And with actual funds inside, we only want whatever has funds on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So on all three of those, and then most stuff is on ledgers.
Okay, cool. What about you, Cody?
Yeah, I've got a few. Yeah, I use MetaMask. I've got. Yeah, I primarily use MetaMask. I've got Ravi, and I've also got a Layer 1X wallet. And to be honest, I'm using the L1X wallet the most, just because of the simplicity of it. So.
I wonder what, because I'm trying to figure out more, get more data about like users actually making a transition to another wallet. So, for example, I was going to bring up Rabby because Rabby, literally their onboarding flow. The moment you sign up, it's like, hey, import your your MetaMask or this or that. So, for you, Cody, what prevented you from, I guess, importing everything from your MetaMask to Rabby?
Because of Layer 1X. To be honest, we're designing out the Layer 1X wallet to be almost like a multi-sig kind of wallet type of thing, where you can delegate your wallet addresses to your primary L1X account. And that way it'll go through. And as I mentioned earlier, about pulling half an ETH from this chain, half an ETH from that chain, and to complete a transaction, that's what we're basically building is that function and feature into it. And so for me, it's, yeah, I mean, I'm eating my own dog food, I guess you could say, with our wallet. And the capabilities of what it'll be able to do once we get version 2 rolled out will be phenomenal, because of its built-in interoperability. It won't even matter the chain that you're on. It won't even matter where your assets are. You'll just see a single asset type of thing, and you'll be able to trade across EVM, non-EVM, and swap as well, across those functionalities. So, this actually brings up we have a community question. This is from Fur, who's listening in. He says, Coco's reply prompted me to ask another question around cold and hot wallets. Why not just one? There is always a question of UX and adoption, but things like these make it absolutely hard for people. And then there is the burden of, hold on, I got to click to extend it. There is the burden of private keys and preserving them. What can be done? That's a great question. Thanks for asking, Fur. I have my thoughts on this. Anybody want to take the first stab before I put my answer in?
I just wanted to say, King Julian, those were great questions. I felt like you were about to like dunk on everyone. You're like, oh, what wallets do you have? FlickPlay, Coco, Zevo, Cody, and then you're like, you know what? You're all wrong, but you're right that
Yeah,
you're
I mean, I
right.
was planning on. I'm trying to collect. I mean, what I'm trying to do is understand. Okay, well, it seems that from you, you have a fear of letting another wallet because you already ingrained a feeling that you feel safe in MetaMask. You don't want to. It's like dating, you know what I mean? Like you've already been in a relationship with MetaMask for over a year.
That's a good
Oh
one.
yeah.
So
Well,
you don't want to see if the new one's gonna take away 50% of your assets.
exactly. It's like
Yeah,
all reliable, it's all reliable. And so
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I I think that people have like, I mean, maybe I'm just people, but saying people have like they do what they know, and then it's
No,
really hard to get them to go into another thing unless they're
yeah,
gonna get
yeah,
like an airdrop. There's like some sort of
exactly.
incentive,
So
or they literally have to. So I thought that was an interesting point, and it's definitely interesting to explore what are the other ways or reasons behind people switching wallets or something like
yeah,
that. Either
well,
they
it's
got screwed,
yeah,
they have an incentive to, or they literally have to. Sorry to take away from the question that you asked, Cody, but I did want to touch on that. But yeah, hot cold wallets, I think that also kind of comes into play where it's like, yeah, if I have a hot wallet and a cold wallet and I keep it separate, I feel safer, which is the point of a cold wallet. If you want to have them together, then maybe put them in, you have two MetaMask profiles. They have different private keys, but you still can like use them on the same browser or something like that. But definitely I love keeping them separate because I'm a worrywart for sure. My dad's a lawyer, so he taught me, he ingrained in me, think about all the things that could go wrong. All the things that could go wrong, you have to think about it. And for that reason, I'm always like, oh man, what if this is a scam? Oh, what if this is a scam? So great, but also not great. It's taken years off of my life.
That's for sure. And I love that question, Nick. And to Julian, I'm sorry if you were going up for a dunk, but I think you just got swatted. So not in my house, friend. I'm just kidding. But yeah,
it's the Nordic in me,
yeah, for sure. No, that's a great question. It's interesting. So just to kind of circle back on the cold wallet thing, is it possible to have just one wallet to protect you? And let's just go with that. And let's just try to answer first question.
Yeah, no, that's a much better way of phrasing it, because obviously you're gonna, you're having two different wallets. I think that it is there is you can have one wallet to protect you. So the reason why I'm asking is one thing that we've been able to do actually is, I mean, it's not officialized yet, is actually offer insurance coverage for your assets on a self custody wallet. So now, right, if your assets actually get hacked or stolen or whatever, Masmo would actually refund that to you. So I think it's basically based on the, for example, like cold wallets. I mean, I know people who've got hacked for example, I mean, specifically Ledger. Like Ledger is just a terrible company, especially with the Ledger X's. But the UX just sucks with the Ledger. And with a cold wallet, I mean, with a hot wallet, you're going to run the risks, obviously. But I mean, unless you're doing really kind of mumbo jumbo stuff, you shouldn't be specifically scared. But anyways,
yeah, I agree with you on that one. Anybody else? Coco, to be?
Yeah, I was going to say actually on a different take, I would say currently it's not possible, just because and click play, you're absolutely right to constantly be worried about it, because there's just too many things that could go wrong. And so, but you are also trying to balance safety with convenience. We're back when we were doing again back in my DJing days, you're trying to mint something and it have to be quick. You just can't do it with a ledger. You've lost by the time you get to the ledger approval process. But you also don't want to be putting lots of funds where, if you are going to do something quick and not think and just have a break before you make that approval, you need something quick, and you have to almost every single time be like, okay, these funds could be lost. But it's not normally friendly. That's something that we all just in crypto just get used to, that okay, this could be possibly a wallet drainer. Am I willing to lose everything in this hot wallet? And that's how I play it. My hot wallets are like, okay, I'm willing to lose everything. My cold wallet's not foolproof at all, as King Junior mentioned. So many other ways to get at that funds, but it's kind of like a trade-off, one extra step to sort of it all going wrong.
No, 100%. Could you imagine, since you're in the gaming space, could you imagine if you were in a heated battle and you needed to buy an upgraded NFT weapon, or if you needed to pop a couple more quarters in the machine to make it go and you had to pull out your cold wallet? It just doesn't work, right? It
absolutely.
And it's all about that user experience and things like that. And so, Zybo, did you want to jump in? I saw you take your mic off a few minutes ago.
Yeah, I just took my mic off for a second because I actually have to hop off now. So I just wanted to thank everyone for having me on today, and it's been a fantastic space. So looking forward to hopefully doing another one of these in the future.
Heck yeah, we'll definitely reach out and get you back on. Okay, thanks for attending. So
For sure. Have a good one, guys.
You too. So for me, to kind of answer first question, absolutely, I think it can be done. In fact, we're building out some of those capabilities right now inside of our wallet as well, where it's almost building a security moat around your primary wallet. And how we're kind of doing that is through a process where the user controls the data. They control how they connect, how much information they give out, what projects can access in terms of their wallets versus data as well. And so we feel like that's kind of the first step into that evolution of being able to combine everything into one wallet. Likewise, we're using it to basically around usernames as well. I think it was Flickplay, Nick, that mentioned, being able to log into a single account type of thing. We're doing the same thing, but it's built all around it, and no more need for email, that kind of thing, because that's like a way old technology, anyways. And this way we're able to kind of advance the whole security around just using a username and how your username is tied to your data, how it's tied to your wallet, and everything that way. So then when you're in those important games, you don't have to worry about, pulling out your cold wallet and trying to top off your wallet type of thing. So great comments there. We're coming up on time. I do have one last question. This one is kind of a fun one. So if you could add one sentence to the loading screen of every single crypto wallet in existence and in the future, maybe this sentence could be something to inspire optimism, financial prosperity, or something along the lines of responsible participation. What would it be and why?
Practice financial responsibility or get dunked on by King Julian, baby.
Classic. I love it. I love it. Anyone else?
I guess something to do with you're never going to sleep again.
I feel like it's something like when I don't know if this is a very British reference, but in the UK you have like cigarette packets which pretty much have to say like you will die if you smoke cigarette, something like that, where you're like not for the faint-hearted. You could lose all your funds.
Oof.
That's a good.
warning.
I don't know if that would be a good one or not. that would defer onboarding and getting people going. That's for sure. I'm kind of shocked. Julian didn't say crypto easy enough for grandma to do it or something like that.
Matt.
Oh,
I want to play the devil's advocate right now.
Yeah, no, I get you.
So.
I get you. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Go ahead.
The only thing that jumped in my head is how Lady of Crypto signs off her videos, which is "Don't be a dumbass." I just thought that'd be amazing. Just the wallet there. Don't be a dumbass.
Heck yeah, that would be a good one. That would be a way good one. Yeah, that would be a great one. So, anyways, that's a great way to end our discussion on some happy notes. Everybody laughing, having a good time. So we do appreciate you participating in our AMA today. And we hope that you enjoyed it as much as Joe and Anna and I did, kind of putting this together. So, but before we close this epic episode, let's give another big round of thank yous to our panelists for participating. And then also, if you found this episode very insightful, please give it a like. We would we'd love it. I know Anna would love you forever as well if you helped us out and gave us a like on that, and then also shared it as well. So until next time, keep pushing the boundaries of innovation, and let's keep uniting all of crypto. So have a good day and good night, and we'll talk to you guys later.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thanks, everyone.
Night. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the SEC logo, and it says it's our money. You're just holding on to it. Thanks, everyone.
That's a good one.
What a closing statement.
Oh,
No.
Man.
closing.
It was the
Love it.
blockchain's money anyways.
Nice.
BlackRock.